It's easy to be grateful when everything is going right, when everything is going fine, when life is delicious. But what does gratitude look like when nothing feels settled? I don't believe gratitude is pretending everything is fine. And I also don't believe that gratitude is transactional or should be transactional. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about gratitude, especially in uncertain times when you're waiting on something, or when you have a lot of unanswered prayers, or when you're just like in a season when nothing is certain, when everything feels uncertain. That is the season I'm currently in, and which has led me to this, thought pattern. Growing up Christian, especially with the heavy Pentecostal influence that came on later, I started seeing gratitude being positioned in a specific kind of way that I did not agree with, or doesn't feel right within me. I don't believe gratitude should be rooted in comparison. Let me cite an example. I've heard this a lot of times when, in prompting you to be grateful to God, to your God, your situation is compared to, less fortunate people. Oh, thank God because you're not in the hospital. So are you telling me that people in the hospital should not be grateful? Is God not good also, even because there are sick people everywhere? Do you get me? I do not believe gratitude should come from a place of comparing your situation with another person. That does not sit right with me. So I found for myself that is not what gratitude is. That kind of gratitude feels hierarchical to me. It just feels wrong, as if you're somewhat better than other people. And I personally feel that it brings relief rather than reflection, temporary relief at that. So I don't practice that kind of gratitude. Even when I'm going through shit, I do not feel grateful because, oh, some other people have it worse. No, I do not believe in that. Another way that I've seen gratitude practiced that also doesn't sit right with me is toxic positivity. When you fake it till you make it kind of gratitude. I do not believe in that. Toxic positivity can sound like, oh, everything happens for a reason. No. How about no? It's okay to be disappointed, sad, hurt about your present situation and still be grateful. You might not be grateful about that situation, but you can be grateful about other things in your life. Because taking that posture of toxic positivity usually means you're not really processing what you're going through in the correct manner. It forces you to be optimistic instead of processing your reality. So after identifying what did not sit right with me about how I see people practice gratitude, especially when things are difficult, it had to evolve for me. I had to sit and figure out what gratitude meant for me, especially in difficult times such as this season. Right now, gratitude for me starts with reflection. When I want to, compare in order to, feel grateful, I compare my current situation with my past situation, not with anybody's life. I compare within myself. For example, I say to myself, Thelma, you've been through worse. Because truly, I've been through worse. I've seen a lot of things and I have come out of those things, and they're just things for the plot to make everything more interesting. So I just tell myself that I recall all the times where I thought I was not going to make it, where I made it. And I tell myself, if you can survive that, you're definitely going to survive this. So relax. Everything will be all right. Everything might not be all right now, but eventually everything will be all right. I also say things to myself like, even though I'm not where I want to be, I'm definitely not where I used to be. Just reflection. Oh God, our help in ages past. He has helped us. He has helped me time and time and time again. So I just remind myself. Now I'm talking about gratitude as a Christian. And I feel like it applies to you in whatever it is you believe in, whatever religion you practice. You have to, reflect, look back on when you've been delivered, on when situations have come and have gone, and you somehow survived it with battle scars, but nevertheless alive and whole. So a lot of times I just have to sit and reflect, and which is why a lot of people practice have a gratitude journal, just so you don't forget, because a lot of times we forget. So you have to really sit down, take time to think. If you can think deeply, then you will be grateful, because life is very dynamic and it just comes in ebbs and flows. So when you are in the valley, you have to think about all the valleys that you've survived. And and that thought just makes you realize that this is just another flow, and you would eventually survive it. Sometimes I just start thinking about the future, and I'm like, I can't wait to look back on this current situation and just see that, yeah, indeed I survived it. So deep reflection, gratitude for me, especially in uncertain times. Now, it's easy when everything is going fine, but in uncertain times, when you're waiting on something, when everything feels like it's falling apart, when nothing is working, you just have to sit down. A lot of times, often sit down and reflect until that reflection brings some form of peace and just wells up some form of gratitude within you, and then start focusing on that gratitude. Don't focus on the storm. Look at Jesus. Another way I practice gratitude, practicing gratitude from the place of love. Like I said earlier, I never say thank God I'm not single like them. That's weird. I just think that is super weird. I think it is super weird to be grateful at the expense of other people's situation. I find that super weird. So I practice gratitude from the place of love. Instead of just comparing to other people's less fortunate situation, I compare with my growth. Excuse me. I compare with my own growth. I look within myself and I find ways in which I've gone from point A to point B. Really think about that journey and just hold on to that hope that as I came out at the top, then I will come out at the top again. Let me tell you, there are some days those two things will not work. I'm going to tell you for free. Those two things, you know what, you will reflect and you're like, nope. You will find, sometimes it will not just work. This is when your creativity has to step in. And what do I mean by that, you ask? That's a very good question. It is when you are grateful for things you are entitled to. Yeah. There are a lot of things that we feel we are entitled to, that we forget to be grateful for them. And so when you've reflected and you're not still really feeling it, you have to get very creative. For example, sometimes See as I can breathe in and out. I remember when I have blocked nose. Do you know how annoying it is for your nostrils to be blocked and you're trying to sleep? It is one of the most frustrating things in the world. So I can get creative to the point of I'm actually thankful that my nose is not blocked right now. Because I remember when I'm in the trenches of blocked nose and cold and flu, and you're like, let me just wake up healthy. Every day we wake up healthy, we sort of take it for granted because duh. But when you're in the trenches, you have to remember that there are some things that we feel entitled to that we should actually be grateful for. Another example, say okay, you are your nose is blocked and you take a shit, mind my language. You can be grateful that at least your nose is blocked, you can't smell your smelly shit. That is what I mean by being creative. You just have to look around you and really get creative. What I've realized is that practicing gratitude is a muscle you have to, like the word says, you have to practice it. Practice it. Do it over and over and over and over again until it becomes your default setting. It also made me remember the red car theory. When you buy a car and then you start noticing the car on the road. Before you bought it, you never really noticed it. But now that you got the car, it is that you just see that car everywhere and you're like, oh my God, why is everyone driving my type of car? It is a perspective thing. Your perspective has shifted. So when you practice gratitude, it's almost as if, because it has become like a second nature, it's as if the universe, God, whatever it is you believe in, starts giving you things, or you start noticing things to be grateful for. If you really are looking for what to be grateful for, you will find. And if you are also looking for something to be sad about, you will also find. So it is just about shifting your perspective, shifting your gaze, shifting your focus on gratitude. So gratitude works the same way as the red car theory works. When you train your mind to look for what is steady instead of what is missing, your awareness shifts. Easy to be grateful when life is good, but life rarely is. Like, something is always up. Like, that's another thing I've realized in life. There is always something. There is always something. It also made me remember this Buddhist theory. I saw a video of it online where the creator compared Buddhism versus Christianity. Jesus in the Bible met somebody whose child was sick, and Jesus went ahead to heal the child. Normal. That's what Jesus did. He went ahead to heal the sick. Versus the Buddha, somebody, according to the creator, I never really researched on it, but that comparison and that story really shifted my perspective. So apparently the Buddha met somebody whose child died or something, and the woman begged the Buddha to heal the child or to bring the child to life, whichever one. The Buddha said, okay, that's fine, but you're going to get me like a mustard seed from a household where they've not experienced any loss in the past, I don't know, maybe 1 year or recently. So the woman went door by door, knocking and asking, oh, could you please give me some mustard? But have you lost anybody recently? And person A will say, oh yes, my grandfather died. Person B will say, oh yes, my husband died. And she went from door to door to door. She did not find anybody without a loss in their life. Which just made me see that everybody is going through something. The most bright smiled person is also going through something. So every phase in your life, there's always going to be something you're going to be going through. So practicing gratitude, exercising the muscle of gratitude, it is a skill that is essential to the survival in this life. That's what I believe. Especially if you want to live a joyful life, you have to learn and know how to be grateful, especially when things are not as you expect them to go or as they seem. So for me, gratitude isn't denial, it is attention. Just a different kind of attention. And what you train your attention on will shape your experience in life. I am still waiting on certain answers to certain prayers, but I refuse to wait without gratitude. That is my posture, and this is a muscle I am exercising until it becomes second nature to me. Yeah, that's all I have. This video to the end. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. This segment of my channel is something I've been thinking to do for a while now, and I'm happy I've finally done one video. This is going to be called this segment is going to be called Talking Things Through, and this is where I'm going to talk about things that are on my mind. I will just talk them through and hope that somebody learns 1, 2, or 3 things, or just go through whatever it is I'm experiencing or I'm going through with me. Carry kakpo, as my elders will say. Yes, thank you so much for watching, and see you in another video. Before we go, I want you to comment and tell me a silly thing, the silliest thing you can think of to be grateful